children and whatever her name was, what was the other lady's name? Deb.
Yeah.
They looked at the Russell Hotel because of the shared bathroom. They said, nah, they wanted their own bathroom.
Oh, well, hasn't hurt us yet, has it?
They said it was the Russell came up at the right price. Still, we paid $200 for the 2 nights, wasn't it?
Well, imagine what they're paying.
Yeah, but they've also got a bathroom room on this.
Good morning, visitors. The very popular students have made new visitors for many.
I can't see him with my camera. Down there on the ground, just sitting down.
Genius. I see
That's
it.
like it's got lit on it.
Yeah, I see it scale.
Yeah. No, it's not a bat. That's a
Tree rat.
yeah. Yeah. Right there.
Look, there's more.
Little mouse.
Yeah, they're like,
Oh, it's coming out blurry.
Little sugar gliders. There's another one that just came out of the tree.
$19 or something. Yeah. That's what Charlotte got for her birthday. Bearded dragon. Her name's Hazel. I thought what size fish they got in the water.
Is that what you want in our dam? Out of the pond?
Oh, that's right. She's back towards me. Oh, and it's doing a pee. I took a photo of it doing a pee. Look,
Yeah.
it's hung over the box. Look at those two are pretty bad. They're being silly up there, aren't they? Yeah, quite funny, eh? One of them.
No, it's having a scratch.
Oh, it's eating it. Yeah.
That one there's really going.
Yeah. If you shredded it.
A little handful of what flour is. It's 2 or 3 years old.
The other little ones come out too. Asking to have the finger confidence back to us. No, we didn't have my glasses on.
晒太阳。它晒太阳妈妈。
不要在水上不能。
啊 no。
Looks like it. Yeah. And there's our ship.
All the way up there, is it?
Yep. And there's Mum hiding.
It's raining. Bit of a. Oh, started looking. That's pretty. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Not long to go.
About another 2,000 litres.
Ah, easy.
I'm kind of attached to it, so
Oh, I'll want to measure camera.
just, well, it probably goes back quite a bit.
Turn around, dude.
Yes, sometimes when we have these animals, they love coconut. So here we have 3 traps to catch him. So the easy one is this one. You catch a coconut, you make a small hole, catch a small tree, and you put it on. You make sure the coconut crab cannot take it off and put in the cave, eat inside. So he will come and he will stay like this, and the time he will take to open the nuts. At 1 a.m. you come back, you find him on the thing, you take him and tie it and put in your bag. And this two is the same thing. This one you tie to the tree, put coconut inside, and he will come, climb, get inside, and this one same, cannot come out. Just come and grab him, tie it. And the coconut crab, it's like lobsters. When you boil them, they become red. Then eat. But he never go to the sea. He only stay in land. He sometimes go to lay his eggs on the sea. Then come back in land.
He lives back in the cave when he comes out.
Yes, cave also. And his favorite meal is coconut, and he also eats some insects and some roots of trees. Must go?
Good to know.
So here we have Antoine. He will show us one surprise, and he asks us to close our eyes.
Take 10 minutes. I don't want a dead battery. Okay.
Close the eyes. Should I close?
Is he putting it in or taking it out? Both my eyes. How about one eye? What do you mean that's it?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at it.
And you can come close to take pictures.
Yes.
Oh, it is alive. Look.
He's alive.
Yes, she is. Oh my.
Take a picture, Daddy.
Can we cook it?
Be careful with the pincers and bites.
Now, do you eat these?
Yes.
No, put your hand just just above. I just want to get the yeah, that's good. I'll see how big it is. You can smile. You're in it. You can smile.
My hands on ka na? One volunteer?
Can I get an idea? This guy
Sure. That's real
Imagine the rope is long. You hide behind them.
What do you want in?
Haven't done it yet.
Looking out through the tunnel. This was was their observation thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They would have had those trees chopped down, wouldn't they?
Yeah, the trees wouldn't have been there. And Mum entering the tunnel. And there she goes. Turn round, dear. Wave. Okay.
The other way. Yeah.
Yep, or where the guns were.
Well, a dustpan and brush, very...
Follow the British. Yeah, because we were once under British
They
rule.
put a net out.
Those robbers, one of them, take them to the local police station.
Photo. Okay, do it again.
So we get smarter.
I don't want to just fall.
We got those things that are trees called yak
See,
traps.
that's too cool.
That's the waterfall. Kind of a crisscross frame. Pull them over your shoe. Walk them there.
Fingers crossed for you. That's it, Chili. What if that snaps between you?
I worked on the car.
Fingers crossed. What if
I took them.
it?
No, I'm retired.
There's no turning back now. Don't turn back.
Is there more waterfalls? Yes. But, you know, they sell them
Those photos.
Is it bothering you, the drip?
Well, it's just, I said, it's just water. I have a bag on my lap that's
So I can see from here, I'm going to get drunk.
Here.
lipstick palm. This garden was established in 1977 by the late Raymond Burr. Okay? Raymond Burr, who featured in the movie Ironside with Perry Mason. Okay? This garden started as an orchid garden, but now it's filled with a lot of different plants. Alright? Some of the flowers are native, some of them have been introduced as well. Okay? And over here we have full sun vanda orchids. This is Fiji's largest collections of orchids. We've got 2,000 different varieties with 160 species. Okay? The flowers you'll see today, this is not the whole collections. Different flowers, they bloom in different seasons. Okay? Moving on. Over here you can see, these are full sun vanda orchids. As you can see.
Yep, we've gone on our date day in the bush. on a walking track. Go on, get in.
No, it's wet.
Get in.
You want to see me? I'm going to fall out.
Now I should run up there and give it a big shake.
No, I can't. It's a bit wet. I think I've got wet rope marks on my butt now. We better go back the other way.
Yeah, go.
I can't. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Oh, you got it.
Кино делать надо.
I can't.
You're not. Go harder.
Missed.
She's forgotten how to do it.
Yeah, I can't.
Have to go back to school.
I can't reach. I'm too short. Maybe I should have hopped on the other one.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Greetings to all those on board the Explorer of the Seas on this day, May the 2nd, 2018. As we have prepared to cross the equator looking for safe passage going up to Hawaii and then on to Seattle, Washington, and then the captain realizes he left his headlights on, so we will have to go back. The southern hemisphere and all of the equatorious areas that we are visiting require approval, blessing and safe passage. That safe passage comes from King Neptune, who is the man that will grant us that safe passage. Dr. Cheer, Doctor! He looks like Bon Jovi, but he is not Bon Jovi. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I agree. It's nice to see John Bon Jovi still has work, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Doctor, we have a cleansing opportunity here. I know you have specially prepared your areas for cleansing. Please feel free to open any of the cleansing material, and then let's see if we can pass these people through the equator with no further incident. masks. Do not just put them on the head. Feel free, they can go anywhere. A lot of cleansing is needed in there. Trust me, a lot of cleansing is needed in there. I tell you what, face the crowd. Let's face your people. Face the people. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. This is going on the Windjammer tonight, so you get to see it first. No, put it in. Don't be frightened, Doctor. Put it in. There we go. Put it in. That's quite right. Actually, yes, put it between the two. Put it between the two. Put it between the two. It's okay. It's okay. That's enough. There we go. There you go. There's a little snack for later, sir. There we are. Okay. I feel that there needs to be some cleansing, sir. I don't know about the spaghetti. Oh, yes, that'll be good, sir. Let me help you. Yes, by all means. No. Sir, my lord. Perhaps in the and then. Please, put it in. Yeah. Make some noise for the cleansing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, who says this won't fit? Huh?
Yes, you must fix the royal fish. Oh, never mind, royal sir. Oh.
Move over to the side. They have been
inside the crater.
But then like, you can,
No, I got caught. Mum be happy with this kitchen.
hang on, they're telling you about the house. Looks like a training train.
Oh, the mess.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, look at they played everything out too, didn't they?
Mm.
What, is there a number here or not? Not very big, is it?
No.
Oh, big mixer they've got.
Mum starting the engine, push the button.
Oh, manoeuvring room.
Manoeuvring room.
Electric motors.
Yeah, the power station. Turn around.
Arizona and the two little ones.
Yeah.
Oh my god, turn it around, turn it around. Okay, I've got to push in the next number. darling. Oh my God, they went down in less than 60 seconds when they'd have died.
Pretty quick. Tours go to different areas. Can you zoom in on that thing up on the hill up there? Yeah, should be able to.
kids.
Prison walls.
No.
What's the date today? I've got to put it reversed. The 5th month of the 8th day, 18.
Struck out for Lahaina Luna, 3 miles back up the mountain, passed by the college. We were determined to visit a pile of stone which we could see from our anchorage. We wondered what it was. Country was rough and stony, the ascent very steep.
It's going to make funny noise.
It should.
Yeah. Pacific Ocean, our ancestors came. Fearlessly, they braved the dark of night and scorching heat of day. On double-hulled canoes, they set sail for the land beyond the horizon. The powerful drum beats thrust them onward to this new land. Ladies and gentlemen, Tihati Productions proudly present the most exciting Polynesian spectacular in the world, Drums of the Pacific. beautiful creation of Polynesia will be with you from now until eternity. Here is the legend, the beautiful legend of Tiare Oi Tahiti. Oh
Eddie goes over to a table called a marver and begins shaping and cooling the glass. So we know that basically what will happen is this bubble will initiate the second and it will follow the path of least resistance. In other words, where the heat is at. So he blows in the pipe and notice his thumb is over the back end trapping the air. Keep an eye on the glass. You're going to see it peek its head out in just a second. They can be a little timid sometimes. Oh, here he comes. So right there. See you guys? It's going to give a little turbo boost. Keep turning, keep turning, should pick up his first hand tool. Now notice something kind of peculiar when he comes in contact and releases with the glass. You're going to see a puff of steam and smoke. So when the glass is thick like this, we use water in the form of steam as a lubricant. But later on we're going to use water to instruct the glass exactly where to initiate its fracture point. So into that tool right there. Now that tool is made of cherry wood. And again, when he comes in contact or disconnects, you'll see that poof of steam. Into another tool, you'll notice something familiar. Smoke and steam again. So this flexi pad, soaked with water. Here we go. All right, Eddie, that was done masterfully. Those candy dishes that had this design, all kinds of good stuff. Cooling the tip of the bubble, going light. Alright, so that tool Eddie has in his hands right there are called the jacks. That is the most important tool to the glass blower besides the blowpipe itself. Now if you just think about it logically for a moment, if you have a bubble on the end of a straw, and rotation and gravity to squat the form. I was just getting his tools nice and hot, applying wax to them. On the blades of the jacks, we use beeswax as our lubricant. Nice high flash point, smells good, non-toxic, that's all we need. Capping. Blowing. So right now, Eddie, you put a bottom in? Oh, okay, so right now Eddie's putting a bottom in on this form. Now understand in glass blowing, it's at least a two-part process, guys. We finish the bottom half, whoop, added rod, flip it around, and the area connected to the blowpipe now becomes the opening or mouth. So at this point, Eddie blazed through getting that bottom part done with the nice optic molds. You ready for it, buddy, sir? All right, we do that. So here we go, guys. Let's apply the puntee to the bottom of this form. So Eddie touches down and adjusts to center the puntee perfectly. This is a lot like ceramics, guys. If you've ever got to do clay on a wheel, you'll know that if you're trying to make something symmetrical, you need both your form and your material weight perfectly centered. So we take the same things into thought too. A little drop of water to signal where to start the fracture. Here we go, guys. Just like that, and we're right off. So hustle over. So check this out, guys. All right. So even when we're no longer on, that's now his curve, and he must follow that from base to lip. So one thing about when we work out of that reheating chamber over there that's consistent is that whatever goes in first is going to stay in there longer. And that's always the leading edge, tip of the bubble, or in this case, mouth of the vessel. So that's where we kind of, and then he's going to focus on vibration in the metal rod. I'm here to catch it. Here we go, guys. Oh, beautiful!
Arched brick ceiling in every section of the underground. Why are they arched, you ask? Physics. 4 times as strong as a flat brick face would be. Okay. Now maybe you come a bit more forward. Some of you guys, take a look at those pictures right there. You can come forward this way. Take a look. See those photographs? Maybe some people back.
Mr. Fisher, he actually drew this. Now, we just came in this second story window right here. We went down that flight of steps, and that row of windows right there is that row of windows right over there. But when you look out there today, you don't see any cars, right? I'm going to tell you why that is. So it starts in the year 1889. And in 1889, Seattle is a timber town. And we look like it too. All of our buildings are made out of wood. Our sidewalks are made out of wood. Our streets are lined with sawdust. Even the town's water pipes are made out of wood. Now, enter Johann Bach. On June 6, 1889, Johann Bach was a young Swedish immigrant working as an apprentice to a cabinet maker, just about 3 blocks north of here. Now, one of his responsibilities was to melt down the glue that they used in a little pot over a gasoline flame. Well, he wasn't paying attention and the glue boiled over and caught on fire. This is essentially a grease fire. And what's the last thing you throw in a grease fire? Water. What's the first thing you throw in the grease fire? Water, exactly. The fire quickly spread through the cabinet maker's shop to the store upstairs, which happened to be a paint store. Whole building went up in flames. The flames then hopped over to the next building, Dietz and Meyer Liquor Warehouse. Not even kidding. They just received 500 barrels of whiskey just that morning. The whole warehouse went up in flames. Now, this is when Seattle's all-volunteer fire department showed up on the scene. They got out their hoses and they plugged them into the town's brand new water system. It's never been tested. What could go wrong, right? So they hook up the first couple of hoses, they start spraying water on the fire and everything's going fine. But then they hooked up the third hose when all of a sudden they lost water pressure to all of the hoses. They had no idea why. So they grabbed the pump truck and they ran down to Elliott Bay. The idea was they were going to pump salt water out of the bay up to where the fire was. But there is another problem. They get down to Elliott Bay and it's low tide. They can't get the hoses to reach where the water is all the way up to the fire. Now, meanwhile, a wind has picked up from out of the north and this fire begins to spread. It goes down one of these little wooden sidewalks to the building next door, which happened to be a saloon filled with things like whiskey. Up in flames goes the building. It goes down the little wooden sidewalk to the next building, which happened to be another saloon, exactly. Up in flames goes the next building. Now, this fire is starting to get out of control. This would be a great time for someone to step up and take charge. Someone like Josiah Collins. He was our fire chief on this day, but he's not actually here in Seattle. He is down in San Francisco attending a conference where they're discussing, amongst other things, how you keep your town from burning to the ground. Now, meanwhile, this fire is continuing to bar hop its way across Seattle until it gets to a hardware store. Now, a hardware store in 1889 had everything a frontiersman needed. They had ammunition, they had gunpowder, and they had dynamite. Let's take a step back for a second and put ourselves into the shoes of these firefighters. You have a fire that is now liquored up and armed. You have no water, you have no fire chief, you have a hostile crowd gathering around you, beginning to yell things like, "A horse could piss on it and do a better job of putting it out than you guys." That was probably a pretty fair assessment. And now on top of everything else, you have explosions going off around you. It was at this point that Seattle's firefighters had a revelation. Anybody care guess what it was? Go home, exactly. They were volunteers. They didn't sign up for this. Most of them played on the baseball team. So they ran. They ran to a hill overlooking Pioneer Square and they just watched it burn. There was really not much else they could do. Now, this is when Seattle's mayor, Robert Moran, got involved. And he said, "I got a plan to stop the fire." He didn't. His idea was, let's gather together some of that dynamite. We are going to find a street that is in the path of the fire, and we are going to blow up every single building on that street. Now, his idea was that this would create a fire break, and at least the fire wouldn't continue to spread, and it would just burn itself out. Now, that might be a good idea if the buildings are made out of brick or stone, but what are the buildings made out of? Wood, exactly. Fire gets to the fire break, finds a bunch of splintered wood on the ground in front of it, and it just rips right on through and keeps on burning. The Great Seattle Fire would burn from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until it finally burned itself out at 3 o'clock in the morning. When all was said and done, 116 acres, 33 square blocks, everything from where the Ferris wheel is today, all the way down to CenturyLink Field, everything in between was just gone. Now, locals like to joke if that fire had happened today, it would have destroyed no less than 66 Starbucks. Not even a joke anymore. We're going to pass the Starbucks on the way next tunnel. Now, the Great Seattle Fire was not without some silver linings. One was that nobody died during the fire, which is pretty amazing, unless you count the estimated 1 million rats that they think died. Whew. Now, shortly after the fire, the town passed some resolutions to try to make us a little more fireproof. They said no more buildings made out of wood. From now on, everything has to be built out of brick or stone. They approved the town's first professional fire department and the town's first publicly owned water system. Within days, businesses here in Pioneer Square began to reopen, operating out of tents. People from all over the country came here to Seattle to help with the rebuild. The result was that most of Seattle had been rebuilt within 1 year. And not only that, but within that year, the population of Seattle had nearly doubled in size. So thanks in part to the Great Seattle Fire, Seattle had gone from being a timber town to being a proper city. Now, I'm going to show you guys around this space real quick, and we're going to hit the tunnel that way. In the morning, everybody in the town went down to the armory. They were there to try to figure out what to do next. So the city engineers, they showed up and they said, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to address some of the planning problems with the city. They said it's primarily a problem of geography. We decided to build the town on a mudflat at sea level, and it's surrounded by all of these extremely steep hills. Now, one of those extremely steep hills was right by Pioneer Square here. They said it was so steep that halfway up it you'd start using language that was not considered entirely appropriate. So they named it Profanity Hill. So the city engineer said, you guys know how we all hate Profanity Hill? We have an idea. Let's take all the dirt from Profanity Hill and we're going to spread it out over the burned out section of Pioneer Square. And what that's going to do is raise the level of the city, and that will address a lot of the planning problems we've had. Things like the flooding streets and the exploding crappers. So now the business owners, they said, okay, that sounds like a good idea. How long is it going to take? The city thought about it and said, 8 to 10 years. You can imagine, the business owners just scoffed. They said, look, we can't wait that long. We need to start rebuilding now. So the city said, okay, that's fine. That's your private property. You can start rebuilding now if you want to, but the city streets, those belong to the city, and we are going to go ahead and elevate them. And that is exactly what they did. For 33 square blocks, the city went down every single street, and on both sides of the street, they built these giant retaining walls. And that's what you guys are seeing behind me today. This is a 15-foot retaining wall. And then, using a mining technique called hydraulic sluicing, they took the dirt from Profanity Hill and they sprayed it between the retaining walls. So what they would do is spray in a layer of dirt, then they would put in the new water pipes, the new sewage pipes, all that kind of stuff. Then they would spray in another layer of dirt on top of that, and then they would cap the whole thing off with cobblestones. When all was said and done, Seattle had beautiful, brand new city streets that were anywhere from 8 to 35 feet higher than the sidewalks next to them. See a problem, right? So, after the city gets done elevating the streets, they turn to the business owners. They say, okay, we're done. Go ahead and build the new sidewalks. Business owners say, what are you talking about? We lost everything in the fire. The rebuild cost us a fortune. We're not the ones who decided to elevate the city streets. You are. You pay for the new sidewalks. Well, for 4 years, they couldn't figure out a solution to who was going to pay for the new sidewalks. So for 4 years, the only way you could cross the street in Seattle was ladders at every intersection. Can you imagine? Now, guys, that wasn't such a big deal for us. We wore pretty much the same thing back then we wear today, pants and shirts. But ladies, what were you wearing back then? Yeah, women had on huge skirts, whalebone corsets, parasols. The average woman in this time period is wearing 40 pounds worth of clothing. But ladies, be proud. We didn't lose a single one of you to falling off the city streets. But guys, you see where I'm going with this, right? Maybe we shouldn't be so proud. Because in those 4 years, 17 men fell off the top of the city streets to the sidewalks below and died. Why do you think that was? Drunk, exactly. It's because they decided to build 35-foot high city streets in the same part of town where all the saloons were. The men kept getting drunk and falling off the streets to their deaths. Now, the founder of the store, Bill Spidell, he liked the kid that was Seattle's one-step program. Bill had a good sense of humor. So, yeah, after 4 years, they finally figured out a solution to who was going to pay for the new sidewalks, and they went ahead and built them. And if you guys look above you, I will show you exactly how they did it. They took these iron I-beams and they basically drove them into the businesses right about where the second story was. Then they brought them over and they connected them to the top of the new street level. They used these iron I-beams to hold up these brick Roman arches, and that's what supported our new sidewalks. Now, excuse me. So shortly after the sidewalks got built, the business owners, they realized, hey, we now have all of this covered retail space in a city that rains 9 months of the year. It would be terrific if we could figure out a way to use it. But there's another problem. It is dark down here, and electricity has not made its way to Seattle yet. So the solution they came up with was skylights in all the sidewalks. And that is actually a boarded up skylight right there. But there is even a problem with that. And that's that glass in the 1800s is not clear. It is brown or green, and it doesn't let through very much light. So they developed a technique to turn the glass clear by adding manganese to it. But little did they realize, prolonged exposure to sunlight will turn manganese purple. So that's why we have purple glass sidewalks in Seattle. Now in a minute we are going to go down the boardwalk behind us and back up to the street. When we're walking along on the sidewalks up there, look under your feet. If you see clear glass, that is not an original skylight. That is one that was probably replaced during urban renewal programs in the 1960s. But if you see purple glass under your feet, that is a skylight original to the rebuild after the Great Seattle Fire. And we're going to see some of those purple glass skylights from the bottom and from the top. So it'll be pretty cool. Now in a minute, right behind the ghost. This is where we are right now. So when I was on that railing a minute ago, I would have been levitating up here in the air somewhere. We have done a ton of regrading in Seattle over the years. Seattle used to be on a 49% grade. Today we are on about an 18% grade. They say we have moved more dirt in Seattle with all of our regrading projects than they moved to build the Panama Canal. Now, back in the day, this was called Front Street, and that's because the waterfront used to come right up to the back of these buildings. But today we call it First Street. It's the street right here beside us. Now, let's see, where are we? Oh yeah, we burned the city to the ground. We rebuilt the city. Now we have to figure out how we're going to pay for the rebuild. The city engineers have told us it's going to cost a fortune. Seattle has got to figure out a way to raise some money. So we decide to look at the census. The idea is we're going to figure out which occupations in town are making the most money, and those are going to be the occupations that we tax to pay for the rebuild. Now, when we look at the census, we see some things that make sense. There are a lot more men in town than women. It's like a 10-to-1 ratio. But that makes sense. This is a frontier town. These are miners, lumberjacks, sailors. But we did see something in the census that did not make very much sense, and it raised some eyebrows. And that's it right here in Pioneer Square. In just a 6-block area, there are over 1,500 young, single women who all list their occupation as seamstress. Some of you guys know what I'm getting at here. Now, this is a family tour, so we will continue to refer to them as the seamstresses. But for those of you still wondering what I'm talking about, look around this tunnel, and you'll see some of Seattle's earliest sewing machines. Good, we're all on the same page now. Excellent. So, now, the city of Seattle now knows how we're going to pay for this rebuild. And over the course of the next 8 years, 87% of all of the city's revenue would come from taxes and fees levied on alcohol, gambling, and sewing. So a lot of the alcohol and the gambling and a lot of the sewing that was going on up there on the street level, they came down here into these tunnels to try to avoid paying taxes. So imagine what it must have been like in the 1890s to run around down here in these tunnels. It's either terrifying or thrilling, depending on what you're into, I guess. Now, that brings me to my favorite character in all of our stories. She was a businesswoman from San Francisco who stepped off the boat in Elliott Bay a year and a half before the Great Seattle Fire. Over the course of the next 15 years, she would go on to be one of Seattle's wealthiest and most influential citizens. Her name was Madam Lou Graham. And as you have probably guessed, she was a seamstress. Now, not only was Madam Lou a seamstress, she would go on to run the most successful sewing shop in all of Seattle. Now, Madam Lou is an extremely savvy businesswoman. As soon as she stepped off the boat, one of the first things that she realized was that the police kept raiding all the sewing shops and arresting all the seamstresses. So she went to the city and she said, look, I am primarily a businesswoman, and all of these police raids on the sewing shops are bad for business. So I will strike a deal with you. I will have each one of my seamstresses give the city $10 per month. Now, that's a lot of money back then. That's like the equivalent of rent. I will have each seamstress give the city $10 a month, and in exchange, you will knock off all the police raids on the sewing shops. And sewing is dangerous work. I expect police protection for my seamstresses. Well, the city thought about it, and they agreed. And over the course of the next year and a half, Madam Lou made so much money that when she lost her sewing shop to the Great Seattle Fire, not only could she afford to rebuild, but she rebuilt a 4-story brick structure that was supposedly glamorous on the inside. It said when you went on the first floor, you had an open lounge with a bar, live entertainment, private booths. They said you could even have an intelligent conversation with a beautiful woman. And if you required just a little bit more, you had 3 floors of private fitting rooms right above you. Now, Madam Lou's place is still there to this day, actually. It's on the corner of 3rd and Washington, but it is a mission today, so not really living up to its former glory. But it's over there if you guys want to go see it. Now, if you wanted to work for Madam Lou, there were some things that she expected of you. She expected you to learn how to read and write. That was very unusual at the time. She expected you to learn how to play a musical instrument. She expected you to learn how to speak 2 languages fluently. And she expected you to read the business section of the newspaper on a daily basis. Now, I know, Now, this was not just so that you could have intelligent conversation. It was because, guess how much money you can make per month working for Madam Lou? I'll give you a little context. The highest paid man in town was the engineer who ran Yesler's mill. He made $28 a month. Now, how much do you think one of Madam Lou's seamstresses made a month? 100? 50? What was that? Another one? Or another good guess? 1,000. 1,000's a bit much, but the answer is about $400 per month. It's so much money, in fact, that one of her average seamstresses could retire in just about 6.5 years. And not just retire, she could retire with enough money in the bank to where she could open a legitimate business of her own. And that's exactly what a lot of them did. And that's exactly why a lot of the early businesses here in Seattle were actually owned by women. It was thanks in part to Madam Lou. Now, Madam Lou died in 1903 of what we will just call an occupational hazard. Not a lot of safe sewing back in the day. So now, when Madam Lou died, she left behind a whole bunch of properties. She was one of the largest property owners in the Pacific Northwest, and $250,000. That is about $10 million today. Now, she stipulated in her will that she wanted all of it to go to her significant other, Susanna, and their daughter, Agnes. However, some fake relatives from Germany showed up and contested the will. The city had to get involved, a bunch of shenanigans took place, and when all was said and done, only the properties went to Susanna and Agnes. All the money went to the city. But the city then turned around and gave all of that money to the Seattle public school system. So, not too bad. And that was actually the single largest donation of money to the Seattle public school system until Bill Gates came along. So, pretty cool. Now, we're going to hit the tunnel this way. Let me get up here to the front real quick. Oh, in the night, these are those original wooden water pipes from before the Great Seattle Fire. Some construction workers found them in the 1970s. They found a whole bunch of them, and we took them off their hands for them. You can see this one over here is even burned out. How cool is that? Direct evidence of the fire right there. Now, we had to seal these tunnels up in 1907. Anybody want to guess why that year? Plague. We had 4 cases, the bubonic plague in Seattle. People rightfully attribute it to the rats hopping off the ships in Elliott Bay and mixing with the rats down here in the tunnels. I know, it was disgusting. So one of the first things they did to try to control the rat population was they came down here and put concrete down on the floors. Now that didn't work, so the next thing they did was they put a bounty out on the rats. They told all the little kids in town that if you take a rat tail up to a police constable on the street, he'll give you 10 cents. So guess what all the kids started doing? No, they started they started to breed the rats. Kids started breeding the rats. Yes, kids are clever, so we had to put an end to that program. Now, eventually, people in the city got too panicked. The city turned to the business owners and said, look, if there's anything down in those tunnels you want, get it out now, because we're going to seal them up. And that's how a lot of the artifacts that you guys have seen today ended up down here in the first place. They got sealed up in 1907. So, in a minute, we are going to
Now the weird thing is, why are California sea lions in Seattle? Are they lost? They're not lost. Unfortunately for these guys, these are actually kind of the run-for order. They're the losers.
Oh, they're up the side.
The reason why they swim thousands of miles down from California up to Seattle is because of all the salmon that are in the area. Basically what happens is, so I'm guessing they're doing some maintenance and repair of the hull. That's a great way just to make sure it was ship shape, there's no holes. Hello.
too much, really.
Unusual. That one's still for me, so I can get a good photo of him. I want that yellow one out the back. Oh, you're watching photo boxing now. Look at it. Look at the red one here too. Yeah, photo.
Nothing's watching me.
Got this one.
Just chucked it on his belly.
No, he's cleaned himself.
Oh my goodness.
Turn round.
I was like upset, like damn, dude. And it's like you see the waves, all you see is like shimmer from all the fish. It's like really, yeah.
What are you pointing at? What?
Yeah, there's a skull over there to kind of get an idea for the size of it.
I saw that when we walked in, we came in that way.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourselves a round of applause. They bend the spoon. Now, Steve, you said you didn't know.
I see the hole. You do?
Baby bag.
Let's get a chair.
These are mole rats.
Look at the teeth on it. Oh, this is a cool pepper. Look at that one over there trying to dig its way. It's chewing on it. It's trying to dig. I think it's digging its way to China.
turn around there. Oh, there you are.
I'm not taking my hands out of my pockets.
We're going with it.
Okay, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Might go in and have a coffee, but
Now, what we're going to be doing once we get back on site is we are immediately going to be doing the dog show, where you're going to meet Matt Hayashida, one of our local Iditarod racers. Now, the Iditarod is the Alaskan state sport of dog mushing. You go over 1,000 miles through Arctic tundra with nothing but your dogs and your sled. Now, that's not what you're going to be doing today. You're just going to meet the dogs and you're going to meet the puppies as well. So you will get to hold puppies at some point today, and you'll get to play with the big dogs. Don't you worry, they are all friendly as can be. No, you can't take one home. Oh, I wish. After that, we're going to be doing the 40 below experience, which is pretty much what it sounds like. You're going to be shoved in a room that is negative 40 degrees. That is both centigrade and Fahrenheit, only place in the spectrum where they're the same. And then after that, we're going to do a pit show for you, show you guys how to pan for gold. Then you're going to get your own pan with your own gold. And then you'll give me 50%.
He gave his life for the honor of Skagway.
Be sure to look for the giant gold nugget in between these trees off to the right-hand side.
oh wow.
See that giant gold nugget?
Oh my goodness.
There's a fun story about that. A man named Henry Itchen. Henry Itchen was...
On our left, you'll see the churning waters of the Skagway River, fed by glaciers that surround this valley on all sides. Now go ahead and step off the mic for a second so the roaming guides can continue to walk through your cars.
Now, folks, you're likely to be south off the right-hand side. There is that goose. Looks like they're fueling it up. That's a joke, folks. They're not fueling it up.
We're gonna pass the river, baby. All right, we're gonna be passing the river now.
That mountain in the far background that we can see, that's Canada you're looking at.
Oh wow, look the mountain. Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Days of blaze occurrence.
Look at all these rocks, baby. Right here.
On our right-hand side, there's a beautiful pitchfork wall. Yeah, in the winter time. Yeah.
Oh my God, look at
that. 20 plus feet of snow on the pass.
See the same site. We will also once again cross over the Skagway River, and you will have beautiful views on both sides of the trail.
Alright, this is one of them. There was one of those orange maintenance cars that was going down the trail. And this is when we found out that the trail was still open. The guy stopped and we got to ride in one of those little maintenance cars. Let me tell you, those things go fast. Like really fast. Like kind of hold on to your hat fast. What's up? This isn't even the oldest bridge we got. So wait till you see the wooden trestle bridge. Or the steel spike in between his legs. And on each side of him, a man with a sledgehammer driving that spike into place. And then they would use that hole that's created to fill with black plastic powder. Now, majority of the... Looking down into the left, you can see some of that old railroad equipment that was lost in the ages. Barrels, pickaxes, and wheels, and all sorts of things. And when we enter the tunnel off the left-hand side, say hi to my friend Charlotte. There she is. Soon enough. We're going to pass the steel cantilever bridge, go through one more tunnel, and then we'll for glue factories in Seattle. Yeah, they wouldn't even get more.
We're really good at naming things, and this is called the Long Dark Tunnel.
Oh wow, look at that. Wow.
Now in the late 40s, they actually found a bunch of dynamite strapped to the seal of the dynamite. you $2,999. See this super narrow trail? That was two-way traffic. Two-way traffic with pack mules and horses. That's how treacherous this trail was. There are some areas on the trail where if you take a misstep, you've got a 100-foot fall down. So, quite dangerous. And soon enough, we are going to be crossing the Canadian border. Mike.
Yes.
May I ask you a question? Now, folks, in the winter time here in Skagway, we're seeing rain in Skagway in town. It's very, very likely, it's very easy to assume that it is snowing up here. Anytime that we got rain down here. Those are two big differences. But the farther into Canada you get, the more you can understand the Vermont side of things.
All right.
I've never been to New
Oh, okay.
They're doing a switch up there.
Oh, okay.
Although I'll be honest, I'm not fully 100% on why we're moving backwards right now.
She said another train from us got to do the same switch.
Oh, okay, that's not a problem. And as long as we're not going to Fraser.
Train connected, rolling down the hill.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not actually attached to an engine. We're just rolling right now.
Good to know.
Keep going up, I guess.
I guarantee you I would not be this car if we were rolling backwards.
Really?
Because legally, we're not actually allowed to hop out of the train. At least not here. Not a problem. I think I had just all right. It's time for our toast, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, isn't it?
What do you buy it at any store? The liquor store? What do you buy it?
Yeah.
Grocery store.
Yeah, this is non-alcoholic.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see your cuts. All right, don't judge me too harshly. Here's to the miners that mine the land, and here's to the gold that you'll find in your pan. Here's to the beautiful Yukon views, here's to me, and here's to you. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. All right. Enjoy the laxatives.
Flat top, raised sides. However, in avalanche areas, the sheds are designed and constructed to be anchored into the hillside and to support a sloping roof of large planks that would carry the avalanche over the train passageway to fall harmlessly below. Past American Shed, we will be entering our long dark tunnel once more, and when we emerge, we'll have a beautiful view of the steel cantilever bridge on our right.
Alright guys, so I have those goodies that Jeremy mentioned earlier. I'm just going to go over them again. So first of all, we have the official White Pass Yukon Railroad
I'll have
Shortly, we will travel through the 250-foot long tunnel that was blasted out of solid granite in the winter of 1898. On this side of the tunnel, the railroad workers constructed a switchback path up the mountainside so horses could haul railroad ties and blasting powder from White Pass City, about 1,000 feet below. But it was such a harsh winter that men spent as much time shoveling off the grade as they spent.
There is a man. He was walking down the street in regular suburbia as we know it. He's walking down the street one night. His house is in view. It's at the end of the cul-de-sac. He's walking down. But he hears behind him a strange noise. Thump, 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 he hears. Well, the man looks behind him, and there, hopping its way down the street right towards him, is a coffin. And it's just hopping as quick as it can towards him. Thump, thump, thump. Of course, the man starts running. And behind him all the way, he hears thump, thump, thump. Well, he's running as fast as he can now. He looks over his shoulder, and there's that coffin. Thump, 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 getting closer and closer to him. He sees his door now, so he's running frantically, and he swings the front door open and closed behind him. But behind him, he hears thump, 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 and he barely gets to a staircase before his front door bursts open. Thump, 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 right behind him. So he runs up the staircase, the only thing that he can do, all the way hearing the thump, thump, thump behind him. Now the man is frantic. He runs into the first room that he can. It's the bathroom. He closes and locks the door behind him, but all the while he hears thump, thump, thump. Well, the man, he runs to the back of his bathroom, and the coffin bursts through the bathroom door, and he reaches for the only thing that he can to protect himself, a bottle of NyQuil. He throws it. The coffin stops.
If you keep your eyes peeled down and to the right, you might catch
NyQuil stops the coffin?
on the
No.
railway will get approaching shortly.
That was a good enough story, right? That's what you were expecting. I can't tell scary stories on the train. I have to make sure everything is Disney appropriate. If you look down. shouldn't say yes to you, but absolutely nonetheless. That's how. We've also ran into rocks before. I tell you what, nothing stops a train faster than hitting a rock head on.
Right? That's why we're here? I can tell you all about the trees. Now, you're here to learn about gold panning. Now, I was telling my friends over here, but I'll tell it the whole group. You don't see me with any pickaxes. You don't see me with any dynamite. And that's because we're not blowing anything up here. We are civilized here in Gregstown. We will not be blowing anything up. We are here to learn about placer mining, also known as gold panning. And I'm going to teach you. So this, my friends, is a gold pan. See, we like to make things simple. Gold pan and gold pan. Easy peasy. And inside my gold pan, I have pay dirt. Pay dirt has gold in it. What would it be if it didn't have gold in it? Dirt. Yeah, that's right, dirt. I don't want none of that. I only want my pay dirt. And I like gold. So the other thing that you need to know about, other than my gold pan and my pay dirt, is this here little object. Anybody know what this is? Here's a poke. No, it is not for a daguerreotype camera. No. That is the technology we have available. No, this is a poke. Not that kind of poke, sir. My goodness. Clean your mind. This poke here is going to hold your gold. Now, I have gotten the question multiple times, golly gee, is that going to hold all my gold? And my answer is, if it don't, I'm stealing it. But yes, this will hold all your gold for you today. Now this poke has to go somewhere. And that poke is going into this poke hole. Yeah, see? We're simple mind folks over here. Yeah. Poke go to the poke hole and just sit there nice and long. We got our giant elastic beavers to make those holes specially for you. Yeah, those are those beavers. Yeah. So that's about all you need. Pay dirt, water, and poke hole. Done. Oh, did you want me to teach you the rest of it? Oh, all right, I guess I can do it. So, you get your pan pay dirt. It might have some water in it thanks to the rain. And the first thing you're going to want to do is pick up some water. And you're going to want to start shaking. You're going to want to start shaking like you're cooking something up good on Sunday morning. I'm sure some people here have done cooking before, right? Yeah? Now you'll notice when I'm shaking, I am not gently going side to side. That mamby-pamby nonsense will not get you anywhere. You need to shake it like it's real. But you'll also notice I'm not tossing it. This is not a salad, okay? There is no need to toss it. No need to throw things. Do not throw a tantrum. It's a shake. It's a shake, and that's step one. Oh my, I'm tired. Step two. Keep shaking. Keep shaking real good. And the reason that we're doing these key shakes is the gold is heavy. Gold is 19 times heavier than water, 7 times heavier than whatever else is in there. So it's going to sink to the bottom, yes. People are paying attention. Bottom, yes. Great. So now it's on the bottom and everything else is on top of it. Oh, did you want the gold? All right, fine. Now where's that gold? That heavy gold. Yeah, it's at the bottom. It's in the pocket's crease. In this little happy area. Right? So there's what? What's gold? I'm sorry, I did not hear you right. What is it? Heavy. Thank you very much. It's heavy. All right, so now it's in this pocket. I'd like to get it out of the pocket. So we get to step 4. This is my favorite step that everybody always forgets. So y'all are not going to forget this, right? All right, this is step 4. It's called the dump. The dump starts with D, and that rhymes with G, and that stands for gold. Golly gee gold. All right, so we're going to do a dump. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let the water in this trough take the top layer of dirt and take it away. And I'll keep doing that, and I'll take it away layer by layer until all that's left is a little bit in the gold. So everybody watch? So the first thing I do is I ditch my water. And when I ditch my water, it's not like I'm throwing it. I just let it come out. But I keep all my rocks in. And that's the angle I want to keep. So then when I get to this angle and there's not much water left in there, I'm going to dunk it. Everybody see that? Dunk. And all that's going to come out. I can give it a nice little safety shake. I'm going to get the whole thing wet. You know, there's other things you want to do when you get the whole thing wet. Like that. Whole thing wet and dunk, dunk, dunk. Don't be a timid dunker. There's no need to be a timid dunker. Everyone want to see this again? Dunk, dunk, dunk. I'm keeping it at that angle, and I'm leaving it. Now I'm starting to see some gold come out there, so I want to definitely give it a safety shake. Now it's at this point, when I've gotten about this much, about a tablespoon of pay dirt, or a golf ball size, if you're metrically inclined. See, not that much. I'm going to do a little magic trick. This is step 5. I'm going to take a little bit of water, and then I'm going to make this dirt go from the bottom of my pan to the top of my pan in one fell swoop. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's at the top of my pan. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Did you all see my magic trick? I have my basket. Let me try it again. I have my water down here in 3, 2, 1. Bloop. Water's at the bottom, goes to the top. Now what I'm going to do is the swirl is gentle. The swirl is like ocean waves coming up on the beach and just taking the dirt away. So what we're going to do is we're going to swirl this so that the dirt goes away and the gold stays there because it's what? Heavy. That's right. All right. So I'm going to gently swirl. I don't suggest walking while doing this. I'm a trained professional after all. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Oh, what do you see there? Gold. Because I've just washed all that dirt away and I start to see gold. Now this is genuine Klondike gold, folks. This is the purest gold on earth. I do not lie. This gold comes out of the earth and it's already 1822 carats of gold without any treatment. I like gold. The golden rule in my book is keep the gold solid. That is the golden rule, right? Everybody heard the golden rule? Yeah, sure. How do I know it's not false gold? False gold looks a little bit different. Well, I can tell you for sure it's not gold. Not nearly as warm yellow and shiny. A little bit more silver. Still, if you found it in the wild, you'd be very excited. Ever see my gold? And this is from my swirl. Look, I can even clean it up even more. See that? This is not Boo's gold, Boo! This is my gold! Oh, no, it's not false gold. It's all real gold. Ooh. I know some of you were disbelievers and thinking I just had a pan of dirt from the ground, but no, this is pay dirt. Pay dirt. All right. I'm assuming you want to keep that gold after you find it, right? All right, so step 6. Step 6. I'm going to wipe off my hand, get it dry, and then I'm going to take my dry finger and I'm going to press it on that gold. Yeah, right? There's the gold there. So I press, and then I'm going to want to get into my coat, and so I'm going to tap. It's going to drop right off my finger. I'm going to press and tap. Now you might have noticed that I did not press and smear. I did not press and smear. Because if I do those things, my folks, don't tickle this and she will leave your life forever. You want to press and tap. I got like 2 people over here paying attention. Press and tap. Excellent. Press and tap. And you're going to do that as many times as you need to get all that gold out there. So then, once it's in there, I want you to click it shut. If you don't hear that click, it ain't shut. And as I said, gold is going to fly right away. Much like other riches.
How are we doing over here?
Just recording now.
Recording her. Have you found any gold? Oh yeah, you got a lot down there. Do you want to get that dirt and rock out? Do you remember how we showed that? I do I get it at? So, let's see. What you want? I don't want to take it on you. I want to let you do it. Okay. This your panties. I won't take any dirt out. I'll just show her the action, okay? So you shake it down like this, and then you're going to want to dump it straight into the water and straight out. See how my elbow is kind of locked? Just go right up and down, up and down. Yeah? But keep a good angle on it. You see how much of an angle I had on that? So about this? Yep.
Oh, you're getting close.
Just like that. Straight up, straight down. And you see how it pulls on that top layer of dirt and rock? And eventually it will pull that all out. You could even maybe do a little bit more of an angle, to be honest with you. And every so many dips, I just redo a safety shake like so to resettle that gold, and then just keep dipping some more. Oh, okay. I'll be back to see how much you find.
That's good. That's good. So you're ready to start to swirl. And it starts from, yeah, all on one side. And you do like, well, wave less on the finger, okay?
Bit more of an angle, dude.
Doing good over here? Connor's going already? I didn't get that. You didn't get none? You poured it all out, huh?
How many of you guys have maybe seen the Iditarod on TV, maybe online? Okay, cool. That's actually quite a few of you. But for those of us that don't know, it is a 1,049-mile race. Now, that's a little hard to picture, so to give us all a point of reference, that's about the same distance as between New York City and Miami, Florida.
All right. Well, good afternoon. How are we all doing today? Love it. So welcome, like you said, my name is Casey, and I do plan to run in the 2019 Iditarod. And I just started off with this by talking about the sled that we use up there to train and race our dog team. So, excuse me, this is the modern day Iditarod dog sled, and we call this style a tail dragger sled. Now, how this works is I can stand right here on the runners, and just like I'm skiing, I can actually steer with my body weight. And guys, we can come a little bit forward. I won't bite you, I promise. I'm pretty nice. Now you guys in the back can come on in as well. We'll get out of the rain over there. So yeah, so like I said, I can steer this dog sled, just my body weight. The other thing I can do with this sled is I can actually sit down. However, I'm not just sitting here, you know, getting all nice and cozy, checking out Facebook or, you know, profile pics. Instead, this is actually a very valuable tool for my dog team, because what I can do is take out my ski poles, sit down, I can tuck out the wind, and I can help my dog team down the trail by ski pole. I also have the option to stand up, and just like I'm on a skateboard, I can kick and ski pole with my dogs as well. Now, when I come to a hill though, I'll tuck these back into the sled. That way I can get off and help my dogs push it up the hill. Now, running up hills though can be a little bit of a challenge for us mushers, because these are the boots that we wear. Now, each boot itself weighs about 2 pounds. So imagine wearing a pair of these and running up some of the mountains. You've got the same for Alaska so far. Because the Iditarod, it does go up and over the Alaska range. And our dogs, they also wear boots, only we call those booties, which you guys can see behind me and along this back wall over here. I also have one right here to demonstrate for you. And if you look close enough, you can even see the little paw prints on these booties. So what happens is, unlike us, our feet, they'll get cold when it's cold outside. Well, our dogs, they have the opposite issue. Instead, what happens is as they're running, their feet will heat up and actually start to sweat. And when those hot feet hit the cold ground, snowballs will form in between their pads, which will then scrape up their feet.
And they're off. As you can see, the only way to get them to shut up is just to go. Hey guys, she wouldn't say much on. but they would say marchons, which is like let's walk. But anymore we say A-L-R-I-G-H-T to get the dogs to go.
Oh boy.
Now, don't try this at home. Casey's been running dogs ever since she was a little girl. Not too many people can do this. It is very difficult and dangerous to run a sled on gravel. But she pulls it off every time, guys. Hey, folks, let's give all the dogs and Casey around.
We're on our ice road. You have a few minutes to do so. Get it well, roll out your hands. Roll on temperatures.
Real history is up this last staircase to heaven. Now I do ask before we go on up there, I love Baby Flash, but our artifacts are a little bit. The lamps can actually still use it today as an alternative to latex. So that works. So it's very expensive. So if you did get rid of like the should once, fix it out.
Lights to the mirror. Hmm. I think so. I think the wind's picked up. Very big.
Welcome to Canada. I'll tell you just a few words about the history of this place. Craigdale Castle was built in 1890 by a local coal baron, Robert Dunsmuir. He was a Scottish immigrant, came here on the island in 1860s to work on coal mines, was earning around $5 per hour, lived in a log cabin with dirt floors. Worked like that for 15 years. After that, he found the richest seam of coal on Vancouver Island and became very rich very fast. And what do you usually do when you became the richest man in Western Canada? Yes, you build a castle, and you not just build a castle, but you build a castle on the top of the hill, so the whole city of Victoria will see how important you are. So it was his dream to live in a castle. Unfortunately, he died 1 year before it was finished. Yeah, he never lived here. What an irony. However, it was his widow Joanne who lived here till she passed away in 1908. But as far as we know, she never liked this place. She was telling her neighbors that this place is too big, too ostentatious for her. So, you know, the man who wanted it never got it, and the woman who got it, she never liked it. Yeah, she was living here with her three married daughters and 2 orphan grandkids. But once you get inside, you'll see it's a huge place. She probably felt very lonely here. But he lived here until she passed away in 1908. After that, her daughters tried to sell this place, couldn't get rid of it because, you know, nobody wanted it, too big, too expensive to maintain. And to be honest, by that time, it was already out of fashion. So what they did, the whole neighborhood, the whole property around the castle belonged to Dunsmuirs. So they divided this huge property in 120 lots, and they say, whoever buy one lot will have a chance to win this castle in the lottery. Yes, it was a great deal because one lot cost around $2,000 and this place cost $500,000 in that time's money. So you better understand the prices of that time. At that time, you could buy a 3-bedroom house for $600. So this place, very expensive. A local businessman, Selman Cameron, won this place, now lived here, used it as a collateral for his business. As far as we know, he was not a very good businessman because he eventually went bankrupt, maybe because his partner died on Titanic, maybe because of some other reasons, yes, but he went bankrupt. So the bank got this place. It was the end of World War I, 1919, and injured soldiers were returning from France. So government decided that it's a good idea to make this place a military hospital. This was not a very good idea. Because once you get inside, you'll see lots of stairs, no elevators. This place was useless for wounded soldiers. So just in 2 years, they moved some other more suitable place, and this place became Victoria College, which is now the University of Victoria. After that, it was office of local school board, it was a music conservatory, and finally in 1980 it became a museum.
It's not very comfortable and it's sort of habit, you just throw it back.
Imagine getting this upstairs.
Bedroom number 2 is one on the first level, which would be the last level. This would be the kids' room. To a side, which is on down.
Did you guys have any questions at all?
I've had to do a gift shop.
Turn around, dear.
我看迄台大台，我大无，你台我大无。
ไม่ใช่ก็มีบ้างเลยนะไม่รู้ว่ามีของไหนไม่ใช่ว่าอย่างนี้หรอกเลย When you're ready, come over here.
Good.
I smell a big pink bow on your head. Wandering off. Now, I've got the pins in my handbag because I thought she just put them in the bag and I said,
Life. And actually part of this area was diked for farming until about 20 feet down, creating a very rich habitat for marine life. There's also land animals and owls and fox habitation here. But I must admit, when my kids were small and we were going to the Soil Wildlife Refuge. Crazy, huh? Yeah.
Native Americans use this area for agriculture. The mounds help to trap rainwater and hold it, and so Native Americans often grew some of their crops here, their root crops.
Pretty flat land?
Not hilly, Julia.
Our next stop is Centennial. There's the main channel of the river. That's I-5 to the left of us.
There's the first fence. Okay, the next white fence. Look down the line of fence, down that line of trees. And about 300 feet away, in the middle of the driveway, is A-Bolt Ostrich. Right now.
There it is.
there you go. Oh, I've got the trees. Oh, there you go. There's the ridge.
So a busy day on the river. Coming up on the right-hand side of the train, as we pass these industrial areas along up, is a small city park. And in that park there are 3 totem poles. The tallest of which, at 140 feet tall, is the tallest totem ever carved from a single tree, from a western red cedar. It's right here just past this metal roof building, 140 feet tall. It was carved by a local artist in the early 1960s. It was intended to be displayed at the World's Fair in Seattle in 1962, but it wasn't completed in time. So it was eventually installed down here near the artist's hometown.
On video.
140 feet tall. Totem poles are actually not native to the native population here. In like 15 years. Columbia River between Astoria and Portland. Perhaps when Michael further up here, sometimes they go to Lewiston, Idaho.
Don't ask me where we are.
In the hills, in the hills.
Downhill. You can't see very well.
There's no one in the back either. Yeah, but we need stuff, and it's still dirty. See, did that. We didn't go like this. So weird. All right.
你以为我真的有兴趣吗？对啊，那么多的电线，我都没有用。等一下，我女儿会刀我。
But we're on a boat then. No music. It's the carousel music. Wave to your kids.
Oh, you're videoing.
Yeah, for change. Mum, Godzilla in San Francisco.
States on the train is reserved for people with health conditions. Seat is loaded on the first come first served basis.
We don't see any pelicans anymore. Only pelicans on this island is that gentleman right up there. He's our kind of our mascot. But for some reason, the pelicans don't come in. It probably has to do with maybe the diet, whatever they were looking for disappeared.
Everybody. There you go. Can you come inside here, sir? There you go.
So, military beautiful, wonderful places for prisoners to go. We have prisoners. Why don't we house our prisoners at your Alcatraz prison too? So after the Civil House, we're going to talk about that on our last stop. There's the lighthouse. That is not an original lighthouse. It was built when the cell house was built because the other one was too short. But it's in the same place. There's your warden's house, no roof, arson, at the same time that the social hall got it. And you want to take the island. You can't, you're not in control unless you control the top of the island and you've taken over the citadel. So you can see how fortified it is. There's those rifles. kidding me?
Turn your light.